Blog Talk Radio.
It's Cannon Baby coming with the heat. Got Endie Fiya playing in my speakers. Nikhil the host, girl in motion, all the way lit, airway smoking. You can call in, this phone lines open. Rockets hot like we cooking the roast. Endie Fiya the GOAT, don't ask who the competition is, cause they standing alone popping. When you listen to hear, you always get what you interviews. Artists, songwriters, authors, and entrepreneurs. Chopping it up with powerful icons who make her influence. Who keep it hotter, this is Endie Fiya. Blazing on yourself, tune in and catch the heat. It don't even matter where you at. Entertainment, news, and daily inspiration for everyone. Yeah. Holy moly, this day heat. Got Nikhil in my speakers. Girl in motion, get on your feet. Endie Fiya blazing, please. Keep it coming every week. We too strong, we defeat the weak. Cannon Baby, super speed. We keep it turning to the T. It's too high. A fireman can't put it out cause it's too high. Endie Fiya, it's too high. A fireman can't put it out cause it's too high. Endie Fiya, yeah. Entertainment, news, and daily inspiration for everyone. For everyone. Entertainment, news, and daily inspiration for everyone. For everyone. Entertainment, news, and daily inspiration for everyone. For everyone. Entertainment, news, daily inspiration for everyone. For everyone, yeah.
Ooh, if you're just tuning in, you are live right here on Endie Fiya with your girl, Nakia. How's everyone Thursday doing? Let me tell you guys, I do not bother to read the news anymore, right? Because we don't do he said, she said, and so I don't bother to keep up with the news because I don't have to give you any news and celebrity gossip and all of that anymore, right? Let me tell you what I messed around and did. This is probably how I missed my guest, right? So I was reading. Well, I wasn't reading. I'm trying to, get more up to date with TikTok and everything. And I think that's what I was just watching. Right. So you know how when a man proposes to a woman, he is supposed to get down on his knee and propose, right? All right. So I was scrolling. I don't know what I was looking for, but I was scrolling, and all of the family members are surrounding this young lady as they are helping her to get down on her knee. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, nothing odd. She's going to propose. It's 2022 and a half, so we do all types of things that are out the norm now, right? So she's going to propose. No biggie, right? So she's getting down because she has on this really elaborate gown. She's getting down on her knees to propose because, they're African. She's getting down, so her gown is elaborate. Getting down, and the family, they're setting the train up around her and everything. And she's on her knees, right? And so here comes the gentleman, but he's standing up, and he has the ring. So she's not proposing. He's proposing. But she's on her knees. What is going on? So, I like to listen to and watch things with no volume. I just like to because I don't do noise. So I was just watching, like, what is going on? And people are taking pictures, and everybody's clapping, and there's no subtitles or nothing. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I should, cut the volume on so I can see what's really going on. And, there's really, no big – the music is playing, and it's just you can't hear him saying anything, but he's just – and I thought about it. So, in the Bible they talk about how – maybe they don't talk about, I'm lying, I'm about to make some shit up. They don't talk about that in the Bible. But I guess it's kind of like the woman bowing to the man, like traditional things that women are supposed, is that what that means? Like, is that what she's doing? Somebody send me a quick message or text me and tell me, I wish I had kept it so I could send it to somebody, because y'all ain't going to believe it. Like, I probably ain't making no sense or not. But, I need to know, is that what she's doing? She's bowing to her man, and he's proposing? I'm so confused. That's the reason I can't keep a man right there. I'm not about to do that type of shit. Like, for real. Like, we can both just sit across from each other, and you can slide the ring on, say, yeah, a couple of days later, after I admire the ring. Y'all know me. Needless to say, how's it been? It's only been like 2 days since we've been here. Have you listened to Dorothy's music? You listened to I Want You? Did you go stream it, download it? You know, did you do everything you were supposed to do so that we can keep it in rotation on the show? Did you do it? That was your homework. Yeah? You gave me feedback. I love the feedback. Of course, both tracks are going to be in rotation on the show. I love her voice. You see, we didn't talk about her voice. You know that she reminded me so much, a combination of Michelet and Fantasia combined. I want to talk about her voice. I didn't want to talk about it, but I did want to talk about it because you know how you have artists that their voice kind of, you expect for them to sound, when you hear them speak, sound the same when they sing, and it was like the total opposite for her. You know, did you hear that? I didn't want to talk about it because it was mind-blowing for me, you know. But make sure if you didn't get a chance to listen to that interview that you go check it out, all right? Good enough. I don't have any more to talk about. Let me see. We're still packing up, you know, getting ready to get baby girl off to school. Super excited. You know, I've seen all of the first day of kindergarten, first day of middle school, first day of high school. I love it, guys. Keep sending me those pictures. We'll keep shouting the kids out. You know, my high school senior doesn't start until September the 1st. My college senior will start her first day of college on Monday, and so her university, they started doing first day of classes. I think they started taking pictures like a year ago, maybe. So she promised me that she will go do her last first day of college. You know, I'm a senior picture. She will go take those. Don't worry, I'm going to post her up on Monday so you can see my baby. But, yeah, she's almost packed up, ready to move into her space. And we move her back to school tomorrow, Saturday. She's only got, a couple of months? She graduates in December. So thank you guys for just keeping tabs on her. I'm getting your messages. I'm sharing them with her. You know, you all who've been rocking with Endie Fiya since day one. She's like, you know, your niece. So I greatly appreciate all the love, words of encouragement that you've been sharing with her over this summer as she completed her senior internship. You know, so thank you. But as you all know, it's never about me, never about the family. It's all about my guests. And I'm super excited to have my guest here this evening. I'm talking about hip-hop, R&B singer, producer, songwriter, Jamaal Marvel. The Virginia native, again, singer, songwriter, rapper, producer, who blends the best of all that is loved in hip-hop, R&B, funk, and pop into a sound that defines the word unique. Pulling elements of 80s fun and the heart and vibe of the 90s, he continuously impresses with creative melodies and relatable lyrics. With his third solo studio album, Tales of a Fool, Stormfront on the horizon, Jamaal gives us a taste of what to expect this time around in his latest single, Day and Night. With deep lyrics, soulful harmonies, and infectious flows, the Stormfront EP delivers a sound foreshadowed by his name, a work of art, a work of marvel. In February 2022, Jamaal released the first single, Give It To Me 1.5, from his re-imaged version of Tales of a Fool, titled Tales of a Fool, Stormfront, reportedly releasing April 2023. The second single from the anticipated Stormfront EP drops in early June of 2022, followed by the full EP released at the end of June 2022 with a whopping 7 tracks. Weaving together instrumentals that vibe, relatable lyrics, and a voice of wonder, Jamaal Marvel is a breath of fresh air, a must-have on any playlist. Now, guys, this is just a snippet of his eloquently written bio. head over to the website, indiefireradio.com, and you'll be able to read the bio in its entirety. Indie Fiya listening audience, I present to you this evening my very, very special guest, hip-hop, R&B singer and songwriter, producer, Jamaal Marvel.
Hello,
How are
hello.
you this evening? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm loving your energy. How you doing?
Loving your energy. That's what I'm talking about, especially since I didn't get the opportunity to chop it up with you before the show, and I feel your energy as soon as I hit release. Here you go. Yes, I'm loving it. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to talk with you, man. After hearing you tell your story about the proposing me thing, man, I gotta look it up too.
Please do. Somebody gotta let me know that maybe I can find it and share it, because I was just, blown away. Like I said, she's out there with this, elegant gown on, and then she's on her knees, and I'm thinking like, and she's just waiting there like a lost puppy, and but I kind of, I'm hoping that's what it is. Like, you bow before your king. And there's nothing wrong with that, because especially how things are with relationships nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Men sometimes get the bottom of the barrel, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I also feel that, the symbolism kind of it should have been reversed. At some part, maybe there's a second part of that, once he put that ring on his finger, this is 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Get down on your knees and bow to that woman as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, showing a equal balance between the two.
Yes, exactly. I would love to see that part of the video. So I don't know, maybe it signifies something else. They needed to have some type of, and there was no, written type of communication that said, this signifies anything. So I'm lost. I'm lost. I don't know. Enough about them, though. I wanna get to know all about you. This part in the bio, this blend of genres here. We got hip hop, we got R&B, we got funk, we got pop. When it comes to your musical style, you know what I'm saying? Who influences your style? Because you got a lot of genres here.
Man, a lot. a lot of influences. I mean, I pour from so many different genres and so many different eras of music that my influences, truly do come from that. But if I had to say that, from a more current, current time frame, I grew up listening to Timbaland and Pharrell. They're from the same region of Virginia I'm from, so they had a lot of, inspiration on me, specifically their fearlessness, right? They weren't afraid to do something different, and kind of throw out something that's different. So that kind of inspired me to do the same in my own way. Huge Lupe Fiasco fan, huge Anderson .Paak fan, Lauryn Hill, Fugees, all that type of stuff is matched for me. And I also love like Earth, Wind and Fire, Mariah Carey, like you name it, man. Like if it's music, I love it. So I pull from all of that. All my stuff, yeah.
Okay. So let's back up. Do you come from a musical family, or did you just wake up one day and say, you know what, I vibe to music. I love music. You know what I'm saying? You listed some heavy hitters right there, especially with Earth, Wind and Fire. So were you just on Saturday mornings, your mother was cleaning the house and had that Earth, Wind and Fire on, and I'm vibing to this on Saturdays, you know what I'm saying? Got my cartoons on, got my little, juice box in my hand, but I love this music, you know what I'm saying? Or did you, were you rooted in the church and, singing in the choir and, the passion was always in you? Where did the desire to produce music, to start singing music, to start writing music, where did this all come from?
Man, I think it's innate. Firstly, you mentioned, my mom playing music, cleaning up the house on Saturday morning. aunt did that, and it was the greatest hits of Sam Cooke. So that was from that genre, from that era. But I did grow up in the church. I sung there, but not really. You know, I was kind of shy, honestly. I didn't really sing at all during my teenage years like that. Like, I was singing around some friends, but it wasn't until I got older. I met one of my best friends now, and it's a white guy, and he was always singing, man. Always. He'd go to the mall, he used to start singing. You know what I'm saying? I'm embarrassed and stuff, you know, but singing or being around him got me out of my shyness, and he started to sing on different tracks with other artists, and I would just kind of always show up and kind of follow, and then I started singing, and once I got a taste of it, performing, you know, just kind of led me to want to do more. That's kind of how I started to just start singing. As far as producing goes, that was never part of the plan. I was hanging out with some friends, one of them being a producer. I left my laptop over his house, and when I picked it up, he's like, "Hey, I put a program on your computer. You should check it out." And I said, "I don't do that, you know." And one day late, you know, I was bored, and I thought messing around with it, and I started messing around with some beats, and I don't know, it just started resonating. So I went from singing initially to producing. My first album, I did all my beats. Same thing with my second album as well, too. All the beats and songs I wrote and produced as well. So, you know, it just became something that was, I don't know, I fell in love with producing and creating music. But as far as singing, although I was, you know, pretty shy when it came to singing in front of people, you know, I sung with myself all the time. I used to go out, you know, outside, and I grew up in the boonies, so outside and sing to the trees and the bobcats and everything else that would listen to me. And, you know, to hone my craft. So it wasn't until I got a little with who I was and myself and the way I sounded, you know, that I actually started to branch out. And once I did, like, things just started moving. I started meeting people. I started getting gigs. I started just growing, and, you know, I've been addicted ever since. In a good way.
In a good way, yes, in a good way. Do you have an alter ego? You know how, like, Beyonce back in the day, she had Sasha Fierce, and then she was Beyonce. And I know when I first took a look at your name, you know, Jamaal Marvel. And I'm like, Marvel? Like comic book? Then I read the Bible, you know, like a work of Marvel, right? And then earlier today, I was snooping on Instagram, you know, and I very quickly scrolled through, and I was like, so, you have an alter ego?
I would say I do. I think, I don't know if it was necessarily an alter ego, but so everything I've done has always come in stages, right? Nothing's always just, you know, never just been one full pie. It's always been slices that kind of came over time. And then it's like one day I woke up, it's like, oh, you know, I got this whole new pie type thing. So rapping isn't something that I innately started doing either. In fact, the only reason I started rapping is very similar to you know, creating beats. But I used to be part of a group called Half Black. It was 2 black guys, 2 white guys, half black. And we did, yeah, we were messed up. We was young. We was, you know, first met and created the name of the group. But you know, it was myself who at that time I sung pop and R&B mainly. We had a producer, engineer. He did straight up hardcore EDM house. And then we had a reggae rock guitarist and a rapper from Chicago. And after working with them for about a year, I got used to having a rapper that I could work with and talk to and bounce ideas back and forth with, you know, on a regular basis. And when we kind of separated and did our own thing, and I started working on new projects, I was like, man, it's missing this type of flow. It's missing this type of, you know, sound. And I was, well, there's nobody else around me. I'm just going to do it myself. And for me to get into that mindset from a singer perspective, to kind of switch into that mindset, my mind itself needed to kind of switch a little bit. So a lot of people say when I'm in the studio, if I'm singing, like I'm kind of loose, I'm kind of flowy, I'm kind of moving, but when I'm rapping, I got to change a little bit. I got to embody something different. So I wouldn't call it a full-on alter ego, but I definitely have to adjust to get into that mode to make sure I hit the sounds and the notes and stuff that I want to do, rapping and versus singing.
Understand. So your bio mentions, with a combination of the different genres, it gives a sound that defines the word unique. But what word would you say could define Jamaal Marvel? Or what, I wouldn't even say what word. What special ingredient makes you unique?
Me. I make me unique, right?
This
Every
you.
person on this planet
is
unique. Nobody's like me, right? No one's like me, just like no one's like you. So that spark, that flavor, that's your flavor. Just like me being me is my flavor. And I think as you grow and you find yourself more and you learn to love and appreciate yourself, you learn to dig deep within yourself, your flavor gets more bold and more potent. So, and it gets more louder and more recognizable. So, as far as, what quote unquote makes me unique, it's just me. And as time continues to go, just as, time has gone and passed, I will continue to grow and my spark will continue to increase. So, yeah. And also obviously I'm a sum of my experiences as well too. So, and that goes and increases along with, with time and experience as well. So, yeah, I mean,
you know what? And no one else can be Jamaal Marvel. So many independent artists, so many mainstream artists have taken that cookie cutter mold and they try to emulate what they see every other artist do. They try to look like, they try to sound like, they try to dance like, they try to dance, they dance like, they try to dress like, they try to act like. Everyone's scared to step out of the box. No one wants to be genuinely themselves. And so me was the most authentic answer that you could have provided. I don't think no one has, when I do ask that, no one has ever just said me. What makes you unique? Me. Simply put, me. I'm me. No one can be me but me. And this is a little off topic, but when someone asks to be on the show, they normally have to go through my assistant. And it kind of bothers her, and she doesn't know a roundabout way to respond to the question, so I have to give her a script. They say, can I have a list of questions that are going to be asked? Well, the answer is just flat out no. And she doesn't know how to politely say no. But the reason being is because this is your interview. Nobody knows you better than you. The questions are going to be centered around you and if you're an artist, your music career. If you're an author, your career as, a published author. If you're an entrepreneur, what it has taken to get you thus far in your business. So nobody knows you better than you. So why do you need scripted questions? So what is it that makes you unique? What ingredient is it that makes you so special? You. That's the perfect answer to the question. So,
I think when it comes to the idea of this cookie cutter, concept that you mentioned earlier, if you really stop and look at just music in general, right? Not just music, in anything. I write as well. I'm a upcoming novelist as well. But just any platform creativity that you look at, it's never really the cookie cutter, attempt that it's the individual who first did it. And when they first did it, they were going against the grain. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So they come out, and and the tide is going to the left. They come out and they going to the right, right? And they make this big splash, this big hit, and then everybody else turns and goes to the right. And it's not until someone else decides to go to a different direction until the tide changes. So instead of chasing that tide, you should just create your own tide, because if you create it, people will follow.
That's right.
And I think this comes with confidence in what you do. If and I think confidence in what you do and in loving what you do, and being open enough to accept criticism without having it change the core of what you are and who you and what you do. And that way, like you're able to say, one of the songs Day and I pushed it out for. It's like it was a movie opportunity in some TV show type thing, and some of the places picked it up, as far as pushing it up, as far as being considered, and one of them rejected it. And in the rejection, one of the things it said was, the song has a older feel to it. Like they love the beat, they love this, they love that, but it was kind of an older kind of feel in the chorus. They would update that and it would be perfect, right? And I took that and I understood what they were saying, but I wanted it to have an older feel.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I was listening to like the 60s and 70s, and I wanted to incorporate that into that moment. So I'm not going back to change that song, but I do appreciate what they were giving me, and I take that into consideration. The next time I make a track. You know what I mean? So
right.
but I make this with intent. I understand that some people will love it, some people might not love it, but I love it. There was I don't know if you were tracking, but there was this thing. I guess Beyonce's album dropped this last week or recently, and there was this uproar about one of the songs on the album. I remember on YouTube, and I think it's called Church Girls, and people were going crazy over it. Like I guess in the song, she's talking about dropping it like a dot, and then in one sentence she's talking about church girls and things like that. And, people going crazy in the comments about going to hell and burning and all these type of things. And I simply put in the comments, man, like, it's music. If it applies to you, if you can take something from it, if you can grow from it, if it helps you emote emotions that you're feeling in that moment, if it applies to you in your life, then take it. If it doesn't, then don't.
Yeah. I think she probably, I'm not a Beyonce fan, but she probably stepped the same way she stepped the night before. You know what I'm saying? She didn't go back to the lyrics of the song, and if it was applicable. And, I know the line of the song. And the funny thing about it, as a church girl who grew up in the church, who my mother is, an assistant pastor, you know what I'm saying, just got her doctorate, and
nice.
What they say about absolutely true. I just sat back and laughed. You know what I'm saying? I just threw my drink up at her like, you ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? Us who know. You know what I'm saying? There's no lie in what she told. So you just take it with a grain of salt. I mean, if it steps on, it's just like when preachers preach in church and they step on toes. If you feel convicted, you know what I'm saying, then apparently then they're telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Then change your ways. If it bothers you, change your ways. You know what I'm saying? If you know that what they're saying, if it doesn't affect you, if it doesn't, just keep it moving. But that does, you mentioning all of that, and even with, the movie production and what they said to you, that kind of segues into my next question. The best piece of advice in the business that you've actually followed so far, and the piece of advice that you didn't follow, but now you wish that you would have followed. Now, we know you didn't follow what they say, and I understand, because there will be more opportunities, especially if that wasn't your intent for that song. But the piece of advice that you've been given and you did follow, and how it helped your career, and a piece of advice that you were given, but you didn't actually follow, but now you wish, like, oh, my gosh, I slept on that. I wish I had followed it. What you got for me?
All right, there's two of them. So the first one, as far as the piece of advice that I listened to and I took, it actually didn't come from the music world. It came from the writing world.
Okay.
It's a small thing in the writing world that says writers write. That's it. So if you're a writer, write. If you are a singer, sing. If you are a carpenter, carpenter. Then if you are a gardener. Whatever it is that you do, you need to do it. You have to do it to say that you are it. So when it came to, applying that to making music, as an artist, my job is to make music, right? As a singer, my job is to create. And because I am consistent with my creating process, I am able to grow rapidly. I am able to evolve. I'm able to produce within me, right? I'm able to take it out and push it out. And because of that, I'm able to create gems, essentially. I wouldn't be at the level of creativity and knowing myself as an artist and, knowing my sound as an artist and as fearless as I am as an artist if I wasn't consistently creating, if I wasn't singing, if I wasn't producing. I wouldn't have got the feedback and stuff that I've gotten if I would have made one song and just set on that one song forever.
Right.
So I would say, that was definitely the biggest advice that I got, which is to do. Right? You can't get better, if you're not doing it. So that was number one. And then as far as the second question goes, advice that I wish I would have taken. Someone told me to go after my dreams with reckless abandonment.
Woo!
Now, so, and this is a it's kind of difficult-ish to answer that, to answer that question, because I understand what they were saying, and a part of me wish that I would have completely threw everything else in my life to the side and went 100% into my art. Because my art is good, and I'm good at what I do. And I'm confident that my work is, is good. But at the same time, we all need some, not everybody, but, for myself, I like to have a certain level of safety and security. You know what I'm saying? So I never did that, but I often do question what would I be at if I would have done that. I see what I do and the amount of effort I put in as far as promoting, as far as touring, as far as doing those things, and I do what I could do within my constraints. And I look at the success I've had from just that. I'm like, man, this is pretty dope, right? So if this is what I'm able to get from doing this much, imagine what I could have gotten or what I could get if I drop all other things and pursue this one goal, this one achievement, with reckless abandonment. So, yeah, that's it.
And how old are you?
I am 36.
You got kids?
No, children.
So, what is stopping you?
It's I look at everything. So, it's not a little bit of everything. Hey, I'm on the contract. I'm in the.
Nope. Nope. What is stopping you?
My need for security is stopping me.
Ooh.
And I'm okay with that, right? I think my goal is to get to a place where I'm able to. This is a story that I can't think. I wish I could think of her name, man. She's one of the few black billionaires on Wall Street. She was the author of the Chicken Noodle Soup, Books for the Soul, and she blew up after that. But anyways, I was watching the interview, and she gave this story, and I love it. It's a short story, but anyway, basically, she's like, people in the world are akin to this. There's a massive city that sits on a cliff, on a high cliff, and that city circled in a dome. And most of humanity lives in that dome. They have no idea that anything else exists outside of that city, that there's even a cliff at all. So that's the majority of people. Then you have individuals who know that there's a cliff that exists. They go to the edge of the cliff and they jump off, right? And those individuals are the massive successes that you see, the Oprah Winfrey's, the Elon Musk, X, Y, and Z, right? Those individuals who leap, who jump, who take that risk. And just because you jump don't mean you're gonna fly off, but it does mean that you jumped. You put it all out there, right? And then she's like, then you have the other type. And she's like, these are the hardest types of people to deal with. She's like, those are the individuals who know the cliff exists. They know that there's something else out there. And in order to pursue or get that, they have to jump. But instead, they get to the very end of the cliff. They get on their tiptoes, and they're about to fall off, and they feel a gust of wind from the bottom of the cliff kind of hit them, and they feel that newness, and they feel like they did something. Then they go back to the city. And, I definitely see myself sometimes being in that third category, right? I understand what it means to leap, right? But I understand the risk that comes with leaping. So, for me, I've been continuously setting myself up so that I can leap. In a year and a half, I don't have to work for nobody. And I can go reckless. I can put all my money, my time, and effort to doing what I want. When it comes to writing, pushing my book series, pushing my anime series, pushing my music, touring, I can do that. And I've taken time to build that platform to jump off. So this way, when I jump, when I fall, I'm not falling because I'm good.
Okay. All right.
But I think,
all right.
but I do think that there's a place and time. Say it again?
As long as we got the setup, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as long as I didn't hear fear, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us have used fear as a crutch for so long, but as long as there's a setup.
Yeah, so
ladies,
I'm not.
Ladies, wait a minute.
I'm not
I didn't
afraid
ask that
of.
question. Are you single?
I am single at the moment. Yeah.
I be trying to hook people up on the show too. I be trying. Hey, y'all, he's single. He's single. I don't get into where you which side, but hey, y'all, he's single. Okay, he don't got no kids. He's 36. You know what I'm saying? Got the music going on. Music. He got the book coming out, y'all. And he's setting up for the future. He done listed all of this. Did you hear? Anime. I'm glad my kids are not listening. My kids are heavy on anime. My daughter's about to go to Japan.
Oh, man.
And this really has nothing to do, like her major is fashion merchandising and consumer studies. She's completed her TEFL, which is teaching English as a foreign language certification, so that once she graduates, she will go to Japan and teach for a year. That's her, the off year, whatever. She'll do that for a year, and then she will go back to school to complete her master's. But what she wants to, and this is all off, I know, but what she wants to be able to do is to collectively be able to combine her passion for fashion. She is, her niche is global sustainability. So when she goes back for her master's, then she will be focusing on global sustainability. So she wants to be able to combine e-commerce, global sustainability, the Japanese culture, and fashion all into one. So this year, teaching in Japan will give her, that love for the Japanese culture, all of that. And I don't know how she's going to do it, but nothing that she has put her mind to and her hand to, has not come void. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen, in the next year. But, yeah, anime, K-pop, Japanese music, that's all I've been consumed with this summer. like K-pop, like Monster X and the BTS, like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my playlist. Yeah, I got big playlists with those fellas. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she's definitely gonna love it over there. I lived in Asia for about 6 years, and
oh, wow.
You know, it's like, I lived in South Korea for about 6 years. I've gone to Japan a couple of times, and when it comes to the music culture and the art culture, man, I definitely have to give them a shout out. And I pull so much from their style and what they do, and it's interesting. That's one thing I love about hip hop and R&B. We global. And people don't realize that, man. That's one thing, like, people don't understand how impactful specifically, Black American culture is worldwide. Everywhere you go, when you look at style, you look at music, you see it. I'm walking down the street in Seoul or Tokyo, I'm going to hear R&B. I'm going to hear, funk and pop and jazz. Like, I'm going to hear those things. And it's going to be, sometimes it's to a point where you feel like, you think you know the song because they're throwing like a half a English line, so you think you know what's
right,
going on.
I know. For so long, I slept on Monster X. I slept on them. Like, you know what? I'm good. I'm not into them. But I purchased my daughter. She turned 21 in February, and I purchased her Monster X tickets. I don't know, it probably was 2 years ago, I think. But then, COVID hit, and the concert got postponed. It was postponed twice. And so they finally were able to see them in May of this year. And so her and her girlfriends, they were like, well, can you just tag along? They wanted me to drive them. It was actually in Fairfax, Virginia. And so they so can you drive us? And I was like, what? Okay, sure. So I was the chauffeur, you know what I'm saying? And so I took them, but I was confined to listen to Monster X for 6 hours, all right? And that's when I made my playlist because I was blown away. I was just like, what? I've been sleeping on them. Like, they bang. You hear me? They slap for real. You know what I'm saying? And so
you remember that song? What is it called? It's "Let It Rain, Clear It Out." Chicken Noodle Soup. Remember that song?
Yeah, Chicken Noodle Soup. Yes.
So I was. It's about 2 years ago, I think, something like that, and it was blowing up like Chicken Noodle Soup, new song, Chicken Noodle Soup. I'm thinking new song. And, I had to look it up, and it was a Korean artist by the name of Jae Hong, I believe his name is. And I was like, oh, let me check this out. Bro, it broke records. Within the first release of, like, the music video, it was like a trilingual music video with the original, some of the original, beats in it and everything. And it hit, like, 68 million in the first day, played on Spotify, something like that. I was like, what? And it's legitimately the song, like Chicken Noodle Soup. And I guess he met up with the artist who originally did it and paid her and gave her money, and so they be doing it.
Yeah, it's crazy. My youngest son is he's 16 and was 17 at the end of the month, and all he does is like just make beats, right? But he does like wild, crazy. It's jungle music. And it's just drums and just he's in a lane. It's really just different. It's really abstract, stuff that we people of color really don't listen to. But in the UK they love it. Well, he's got a little label that he's working with, and they put out cassettes. The cassettes sold out both times, and now he has a vinyl that's dropping in December. Well, a record store in Japan, they like 80 of his cassettes, and they already did pre-orders for like 50 of his vinyl. And I'm like, wait a minute, they got record stores in Japan? And he was like, yeah, it's a huge record store in Japan. And I was like, shut up, get out of here. So here I am, searching for the store, like, this ain't legit. You know me thinking. I'm very skeptical. You know, like, no, let me see your manager. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, like, your mother should have been your manager anyway. But anyway, let me speak to the manager. Let me find all about the record store. And yes, it's a huge record store. You know what I'm saying? And they are like really big with his music. You know, and just I'm just blown away at everything that they're doing. But I want to get back. I know, guys, we just got all off topic talking about K-pop. And I'm so sorry. So sorry.
No, I'm a talker too, yeah.
I'm so sorry. We mentioned big numbers and how whoever that was did the 6 million. Now, I saw some big numbers for my guest, because I told you I'm always lurking on people's social media. See if I can pull it up really quick. I should have already had this. What did you do on Spotify last year?
Last year total, I did about 400. Let's see, this is 2022, 21, right? Time. About 300,000. 300, 400,000, somewhere in between that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, that's another thing too. You know, I'm kind of backtrack for a second and kind of jump forward. You mentioned fear. We were talking about fear earlier. I just want to throw this out there just for anybody listening, and just seeing just in something that I've learned. Right, I think that all things have a duality. All terms, all words, and I think that if it exists for a reason. I think fear helps to let us know if something is dangerous, if something is possible harmful to us, and that's an indication that we need to have within us. Right? Fear is a positive, but fear should never stop you from doing something that you want to do.
No.
I think when fear is stopping you from doing something that you want to do, it simply means that it's not balanced within you. It simply means that you have too much of it, right? So to be fearful isn't a negative thing. To be fearless would be a negative thing. To be overly fearful would be a negative thing. So I just kind of wanted to throw that kind of out there in general. And then the other thing I wanted to say was, yeah, you know, the numbers, at one point, man, I was chasing those numbers. Man, I was like, man, I'm looking at Spotify every day, Apple, just trying to like, oh, my God, my numbers need to get up. You know, I need to do some more advertisement. I need this, and this. And I do, you know, I make sure I try to, you know, advertise as much as I can. Advertisement is key. You know, the rule of thumb is whatever you spend on the actual product itself, you know, you need to spend 3 to 5 times that on advertisement, right? So, you know, I definitely try to stick to that rule at minimum. But what does it for me? Because like I said, I've been setting things up. I'm good. I'm good. You know, I'm financially, you know, good. So for me, and I'm not saying that by no means. I'm saying I don't want blessings and to continue to grow through my music. But I'm saying what does it for me as an artist truly is the messages I get from fans, from people that are just random and in between. I had a message on Instagram not too long ago, and, you know, in my DMs, and I had missed it. You know, sometimes you get some stuff, and that took me a while to see it, and I saw it, and the individual was like, you know, such a fan, love the song, love these tracks, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I replied, so, you know, thank you so much for taking the time out to listen to my music. You know, it means a lot, you know, interacting with the fan. And he replied, and he was just like, you know, with a big eye emoji, you know, crying face. He's like, it's my birthday. He's like, I'm your biggest fan. I want to see your music last or whatever. And he's like, this right here has made my whole year. And I was like, man, like that, and that right there, that was it for me. All the other numbers, you know, matter, but that moment, like, to hear that from somebody, or to have somebody say, hey, you know, I listened to this song right here, and I was going through this, and this, and I can relate to this song, and this helped me get through X, Y, and Z. And I was like, that's my goal, right? My goal is to present the things that I experience in hopes that other people can walk in my shoes and be okay through it, just like I've, you know, been able to do in my lifetime when I listened to other people's songs and music and their stories, and when I was going through something, be it joyful or sad or whatever it may be, I was able to emote and release that energy and those emotions through those, you know, forms of music. And I've always just wanted to create things other people could use as that transitional, that freeing point as well,
I love it. And I get it. I get the numbers game. I completely understand it. I look at numbers at the beginning of the year, the first day of the year, and the last week of the year. It irritates me when I have potential guests and they want to know numbers. And I can't tell them numbers because I refuse to look at numbers throughout the year. And that's just me. And that's numbers across all social media platforms. I have designated days, and we've always been that way, that we look at numbers and we know we have anticipation, or we have anticipated numbers that we want to see, or projected numbers that we want to see for the year.
Mm-hmm.
We know what areas we need to work on, but we look at them twice a year. I can't tell you anything else because we only look at them twice a year. And a lot of it's based on who somebody, look, tonight they may not have known who Jamaal Marvel was, and so they didn't want to tune in. So it's kind of based on popularity game, Sometimes people don't want to hear me talk, so they don't tune in. You know what I'm saying? Playback shows is where the numbers really come in at. But again, that's not the basis for my show. If I only hosted shows for the numbers, I wouldn't be here. My passion is fueled by so much more. And it took people a minute to realize that. And I think that's why we've been around for so long, because it finally clicked in heads. We've been doing this for 14 years, and this show here for 5 and a half. So,
congratulations.
Thank you. We just celebrated 6. This is our 6th season. So, people it finally clicked in their heads. But we love what we do here, and we do it with a particular mission. And that is fueled by, one specific purpose and my passion. So I want to get into the track before we run out of time. I've had so much fun with you this evening, but I do want to get into this track, and I want to talk about it, before we get into it. I have Day and Night. When it came to the creative process of creating this song, what was that like? Just take me through, very briefly, the creative processes for Day and Night. A lot of artists, I know when I was writing, I always had to have my beat first. And then it would take me a month, to write the song. I'm not quick when it comes to at all. You know what I'm saying? I'd write. I always have my hook. I always had the hook, but then everything else, those verses, oh my gosh, those verses took forever. But what was it like for you writing Day and Night? And what is the song about? I know titles. Titles could always so much, but is it as it sounds? Is it about the day and the night, or is it about the darkness and the light, or what is it exactly about?
So my creative process is pretty chaotic, to be honest. Typically speaking, I hear sound, and I believe that music kind of speaks. So I just listen to what it invokes in me. Sometimes it evokes, joy. Sometimes it evokes sadness, and I just kind of pour and kind of go through that. So Day and Night was no different. I heard I was messing around with some synths, and I different sounds, and I heard the overlay, and I was like, man, that's something. I just couldn't get it out of my head, and I started building some drums to it. And most of the time, once I have just, my top line and some drums, the song is pretty much, in my mind, done. I know that sounds crazy, but in my mind, it's completely finished, because most of the time, by the time I get to that point, I've already created a chorus. I already have a melody for a verse or verses in my head. And at that point, that bass line, that structure is already done. Most of the time, my songs are typically written before the beat's fully completed. So it's like 40% of the beat is done, and like 70% of the song itself is finished. And then I just kind of build upon it right before I go to the studio and record. Also, when I go to the studio and record, I always leave about 10% of the song unfinished, always, because I figure when I go to the studio and I'm working with an engineer and I bring my music there to get it mixed and mastered, the engineers are artists as well too, and they're there and they have this creative insight and they have their own style and flair, and why wouldn't I not embrace a part of that? So I always leave about 10% of the song open so that I can do some creating with whatever engineer I'm working with to kind of give a song another additional artistic kind of like, point of view. So my creation, process is typically a sound, build upon that, the melody for the beat, for the verse and for the chorus, and then finishing out the entirety of the song from a musical standpoint. And then the song itself is life. Man, it's about life. That's what Day and Night is about. People are always like, just get through the night and you'll be good to go. The storm's going to be over in the night, when the night's over and the daylight comes. And I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss, but that's some bullshit. That is not true. In the morning time, I got problems at nighttime.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not. It's like, life is always happening. That's what the song is, day and night. So that's why the lyrics say, life been dishing out so many lessons. Ooh, day and night, day and night. Teacher, slow down with your aggressions. Ooh, day and night, right? And the song really, basically talks about us going through our lives, experiencing things that life is showing us, teaching us, grooming us to be, breaking us down, building us up, that whole process, right? Whatever that may mean for you. And that's the first verse. And then it transitions to the second verse, because when you're going through something, you're going through it. You're not thinking about, for the most part, oh, man, I'm going to be so much better afterwards, right? You're feeling the pain or the hurt or the negative or what you could perceive as being negative in that moment. But once you start getting out of it and you start looking back and you start looking at where you're headed because of where you was at, you start being appreciative of it. You're like, oh, man, like if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have had this opportunity, or I wouldn't be prepared for this opportunity. If I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have met this person. If I didn't go through that, this great, amazing thing wouldn't have happened to me in my life. And actually, now that I think about it, I am grateful and thankful that I went through these things. So the song is really just kind of, painting that process. So day and night, the idea. So, yeah, that's it.
Love it. Well, go ahead and introduce your track to our listening audience.
Dope. You're checking out my latest single, Day and Night, by your boy Jamaal Marvel, Jamaal, Marvel like Marvel Comics. Check it out. Thank you for all the love and support.
Lately chosen, no longer frozen. I be what I be when I be's in the moment. Life's pain equals blessings, better own it. Existing, where they do that at? Where I live, I'm a king. Royalty, who fuck with me? If I feel it, it will be. If I speak it, then it is. Positive energy, stay focused on my gifts. Pain equal pleasure, equal rain, equal growth. Gain on my mind, life come and teach me most. Lessons that make me strong. Lessons that make me free. Yeah. Lessons that make me strong. Lessons that help me see. This morning said, ooh, you a bad mother. Shut your mouth. Going through everything you've been through. I'm overcoming it, and I make it look easy. You know why? Cause I'm royalty. I'm royalty. Who fucking with me? Who fucking with me? I'm royalty. I'm royalty. Who fucking with me? Hey. Who fucking with me? Oh, cause everybody needs some desperation. Cause we all need some inspiration. Everybody needs some desperation, cause we all need some inspiration.
Woo! If you're just tuning in, you are live right here on Endie Fiya with your girl Nakia and my guest this evening, hip-hop, R&B singer, songwriter, producer, Jamaal Marvel, and that right there was Day and Night. Look, let me tell you something. I get a lot of music on the show, a lot of music for New Music Mondays, a lot of music, and you know what? We play the music. We are not like, most shows dump it and trash it and, kick it to the curb, all that. We just play the music, and you guys send me your opinion. I'm going to play the music anyway. It might not make it in rotation after that one time, and you know why. And I try to be positive unless I am asked to critique the music, but it is not very often that I get music and I just sit here and just smile because the song is just that damn good. Do you hear me? And my daughter just walked in, and I'm just like, who you hear? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting, a little Anderson .Paak. I'm getting a little Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting a little Pharrell in the song. And so I'm just smiling like to the ear because the song is just really that damn good. And y'all know I love to critique music. And it takes me like 3 times to listen. I listened to it the first time. Then the second time I go back and actually listen for, the melody itself. I go back the third time I want to listen to the lyrics itself. I put everything together and actually critique the song. But I'm just sitting here smiling. Like, I love this track, all right? So it's going in rotation. Jamaal Marvel, Day and Night. It'll be in rotation on New Music Mondays for the next couple of months. We love this here on Endie Fiya. You guys, I need honest opinions because you love it too. I already know you love it too. And when he gave his honest opinion about what ingredient makes him unique, and he broke that shit down, and he talked about himself and why he was unique, he didn't lie. He said he got it. He had it. He had it. He does. He has it, guys. He does. Woo! I love it. I do. So, Stormfront EP, it's out, correct?
Yes, it is. Thank you so much for all the love, man. Like hearing that, hearing you saying you were smiling to my music, now I want to go sit down and create something right now because of that. No lie, seriously, I love it.
You really do. You need.
I love it.
Inspired by Nakia. You need to just put that out there. Yes. You do.
I love it.
But
Stormfront is out.
Tales of a Fool, Stormfront, that is releasing next year, right?
Yeah, so that's the goal. So I'm always changing my advertising plans and how things work. Here lately, A lot of my songs have been getting a lot of new traction, right? And I believe if you have a product and if it works, you push it, right? So you know, a lot of my songs have been getting a lot of traction. Day and Night, a song called Saturday Night Lights, been getting a lot of traction as well too. So I'm pushing it. At the moment, I think I might push back my release date for my actual full-on album until later, and just release 1 or 2 more singles before, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a buzz. But yeah, Tales of a Fool is coming. Tales of a Fool, Stormfront. So my writing, and I should have said this before too, my writing and my music overlap. So the music that you hear is also like the quote unquote soundtrack to my writings, and the artwork on my releases are the artwork of my characters inside of my novel as well too. So they kind of overlap. So I kind of try to make sure I link release dates and things like that closer together. So if I'm pushing back some of my writing stuff, then I kind of like adjust to the music and X, Y, and Z. But yeah, the Stormfront, the EP is out right now, and then my original Tales of a Fool album is out as well too. A lot of good tracks up there.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll definitely check out that EP. Guys, get some more of that music in rotation on the show. I want to go ahead and give you the opportunity now to get all of your contact information out for those who may be listening live, for those who come back and listen to a playback show. If they're interested in, I don't know, getting you on a tour, getting that book when it releases, getting your music, getting you on an interview, whatever the need may be, for them to reach out to you, the floor is now yours to get your contact information out.
First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be on your show. It's been a true joy. I've had so much fun just chatting and getting to know you and sharing my story and my music, my journey with you and your audience. Secondly, my name is Jamaal Marvel, Jamaal, and then Marvel like Marvel Comics. I always say that just because Jamaal is spelled different ways. And honestly, you can find me simply by typing that into Google. If you type in Jamaal and then Marvel like Marvel Comics into Google, all of my social media handles, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it, I'm on it. Also, my website pops up as well too, which has links to all of my music as well. And then as far as my music itself, where you can find it, truly everywhere from Deezer to Tidal to Spotify, Apple, Naver, different European platforms as well too. So if you search my name in Google, everything you need to know will pop up. And please feel free to hit me up if you want to contact us to chat or to tell me about what you think about my music. If you want to collab, I'm open for everything. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. And he's single. Remember I told y'all he's single. So I do want to say thank you as well for being here with me this evening. You could have been anywhere, but you were here giving so freely of yourself and of your time. Once you've been a guest on the show, you become family. You are welcome back at any time. Got new music, send it our way. Something exciting that's happened, shoot us a message. We'll make sure that we let everybody know what's going on in your world. Again, guys, he's giving you all of his contact information. Easiest way to find him, Google Jamaal, Jamaal, Marvel, Marvel. You'll be able to find all of that contact information on Google. All right? Let me see what's going on. Back here, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for New Music Monday. And then on Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nigel Perkins. Y'all know him, the Wobble Man. Yes. And then on Thursday, the 25th, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hold your breath. Ricky Evans. I know somebody just rolled their eyes because they're like, yeah, Ricky Evans done been here a couple times and ain't been here. I know. I didn't say it. Y'all said it. I know. But Vic said he's going to be here. All right? So, Richie Evans, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then closing out the month on the 30th, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Rico C. So we are now open. It's the 18th. We are now open and taking bookings for September. All right? So go ahead and get on the calendar. It's wide open. All right? So until Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you all have a good weekend.
It's Cannon, baby, coming with the heat. Got Endie Fiya playing in my speakers. Nikhil, the host, girl in motion. All the way lit, airway smoking. You can call in, this phone lines open. Rockets are hot like we cooking the roast. Endie Fiya to go, don't ask who the competition is, cause they standing alone popping. When you listening here, you always get what you interviews. Artists, songwriters, authors, and entrepreneurs. Chopping it up with powerful icons who make an influence. Who keep it hotter, this is Endie Fiya. Blazing on yourself, tune in and catch the heat. It don't even matter where you at. Entertainment, news, and daily inspiration for everyone. Yeah, holy moly, this day heat. Got Nikhil in my speakers. Girl in motion, get on your feet. Endie Fiya blazing, please keep it coming every week. We too strong, we defeat the weak. Cannon, baby, super speed. We keep it turning to the T. It's too high. A fireman can't put it out cause it's too high. Endie Fiya, it's too high. A fireman can't put it out cause it's too high. Endie Fiya, yeah. Entertainment, news, and daily inspiration for everyone. For everyone. Entertainment, news, and daily inspiration for everyone. For everyone. Entertainment, news, and daily inspiration for everyone. For everyone. Entertainment, news, daily inspiration for everyone. For everyone, yeah.